Okay, welcome back to Spark Your Interest podcast. This is season 2. We're calling it season 2 because we just haven't done it for a while, and we're coming back. We're coming back bigger and better than ever. We've got an actual videographer filming it, so it should be a bit more professional.
It's a far cry from your cell phone setup you had originally.
You constantly forget to turn on.
So actually, we'll have a recording this time and voice, and everything will be done.
Remember when he did it in slow-mo?
No, the best time was when you were trying to edit it together and you couldn't make the audio and the video.
Well, that's what I was just saying. So shout out to Mac Media, who's going to be doing all the production for us. I did say about how I was trying to tell him how to voice together. That's an automatic program. So
you were giving him advice.
That doesn't sound like you 40 at all.
That's not how we do it.
I don't know how you do it, but this is how I used to do it.
Anyway, so we're back. We're going for it again. I know there's been a lot of people, like hundreds, thousands of people asking when we're bringing it back. So we're doing it again. We're going to have a bit of a different plan with it. So we're going to have one where it's us three talking shit, and then I'm going to do one with a Zoom, so be able to get people on from anywhere else in Australia or around the world to do a Zoom chat, and then another one will be with a guest that comes into the studio.
Oh yeah,
and then we'll do them each fortnight, so it's a bit more attainable for us because we are super busy, and that'll be the plan moving forward. So
that sounds pretty doable.
It's
doable. It sounds like
pretty professional.
Sounds like a lot of work for you, which is
I was gonna say.
Good for.
It sounds like a lot of work for Shan.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like heaps of
We're just going to be talking shit, and then it just all gets made and then uploaded and done. Yep. So that's the plan anyway. So I guess why haven't we done one in a while is because we've been
getting smashed
flat out.
Yeah. It's been
under the pump.
Pretty grim in this office for the last 4 weeks.
It's been grim. There's been no one in the office for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We've all been on the tools. All literally every single person that's meant to be in an office.
So apologies if you did try and ring the New Age office at any point over the past few weeks, because there was probably no one here.
We've been admin down, which we're back up, which is good.
Yep.
But yeah, we had all of us were out of the office pretty much, all on the tools.
Apologies to anyone who got me on the office phone as well, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to
write notes to no one.
Be like, all right, I'm sure someone will get back to you.
So
sorry.
Yeah, maybe just try call again. We've been flat out. We've managed it. We get through it.
I think
we're getting on the others. We're getting through the others.
This sounds like this is starting to feel like the tail end of the cyclone.
I think we just had it. We had a heap of projects handing over. We had new projects starting, and then plus just a lot of little finishes on smaller jobs as well. So it kind of all just came at once. We lent on some subbies a bit as well, which is good. We managed to get onto some really good subbies. We've sort of had dramas with them in the past and steered clear, but in the last few weeks we've found some really good ones. So shout out to all the guys that have been helping us out.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely shout
on
out to
some of the bigger projects, because that's been a massive help. And
oh my god,
having good guys in, which has been good.
Holy, we would be in a world of strife without them at the moment. But.
So, and then we've hired a few new people as well. So I think we're getting back on track to where we need to be.
How many blokes did we put on? Did you put in on any of those apprentices?
So we'll be starting a third year and a new first year and a new tradie.
So three,
wasn't it? Yeah.
3 blokes.
To be coming across full time. Yeah.
Far out.
And then what have we had? 5 or more subbies? 7 subbies or something going?
Yeah, no, it's between 6 and 7 subbies, I think.
So,
plus a couple of casual guys that have been helping us out, or that helped us out heaps as well.
Yeah.
So shout out to those guys as well.
So we're back on top.
Yeah.
Everyone's seeming
Feels
to be
like
less stressed. Maybe.
You can always base it off Eastie's mood, how busy we are.
I don't know. Can you base it off Eastie's mood? I don't know.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Always miserable. So anyway, I've wrapped up the big Byron project we've been doing, which has been good. That's freed me up now. I'm feeling pretty heaps less stressed now.
Yeah.
I've actually been able to come back to the office and start focusing on some other things, starting to project manage some other jobs, which has been good.
Yeah.
Done some walkthroughs and set the boys up on some other small commercial ones, which has been nice just to be going to different places. And then, what have you guys been doing? You've been flat
Yeah, a lot of quoting. Bad weather at the moment, so not a whole lot of solar going on these roofs, which is very stressful because everything just gets pushed out. And we got some.
It.
Yeah, I got some massive. I got massive July, massive August, which sounds like it's really far away. But then when it rains for a week and everything gets
July.
pushed,
Yeah, it's July
I mean,
now.
yeah, the end. I got big end of July, big August, so everything just gets pushed out a week, and that's like, oh my god, when are we going to do these jobs? But I'm getting through it. It's slowly.
That's the thing. I was like, with being like if you're a company that only does solar, and it has rained a lot. It has rained a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did Mr. Wiz survive?
He doesn't. It can't. It simply can't be done.
He didn't.
I'll tell you from experience. You can't do it. Yeah, you end up
getting very wet, eh?
Yeah, you end up getting very wet or paying 10 blokes to sit at home and twiddle their thumbs.
Yeah, I do think about that, like, roofing or whatever. Like, we've copped some bad weather up here in the last, like, all year, really.
Like,
it's been pretty bad.
Past 6 months.
I reckon we've had 5 sunny days.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild.
Yeah.
I thought last week when it was like the first proper winter where it was sunny but it was cold, I was like, oh, thank God, this is the weather I was waiting for. Perfect solar weather. And then just got a week of it, just started rain again. Yes.
Yes, it's back. It's back. And then you've been everywhere doing everything.
I'm everywhere. And I've had a few different things. I've had 2 projects finishing up, which has been full on. One of them being the hemp house that we've been doing, which has been interesting in Kirrabell. So that's been good. The big one that we're doing in Ewingsdale has just been ticking along, which is where I've been using a lot of subbies.
It's been like a 3-month roughing more?
Yeah, and it's starting to take shape now. I was out there today, and it's not a house; it's a small commercial building.
Yeah, it's moving.
It is massive.
There's a lot of people out there.
There's a lot of people.
2 blokes going out there tomorrow to rough in all the solar gear. There's so much just in that.
Oh man, it is wild. Yeah, it's a full. That's a next level house. That and then what else have I been doing? Yeah, a bit of quoting, a few walkthroughs. Quite a few little renovation things that people have been hitting us up about. Builders that we work for have been hitting us up about.
Yeah, I guess the thing, like, we're trying to you obviously still got to stay on top of the quoting. I saw a thing that happens, you get super busy. We're all consumed with all the other jobs we're doing, and then the quoting side of things is like, because I know before, like, we had Ian working in here who we just lost. He's moved up north, so we had a full-time estimator that we've now lost. So we're trying to obviously cover all that. Yeah. And it's like, it's hard to get your head around that when you're super busy, and it's hard to then be like, oh, I need to quote all this work as well, because you think in your head, like, we don't even have the capacity to do it, but you've got to be thinking future-wise, like, this is all going to sort of slow down and you need to have the next ones aligning. So we've still been quite, I know we've been both, like, working till late, like sitting at home
just trying to
9 o'clock at night doing. Yeah. It takes me back to when we bloody first started and we're doing that. And
there was a lot of.
Yeah, it's not something we want to keep doing.
There was a lot of driving back to the GC and then jump on the computer and then realising, I'm like, I needed plans that are in the OneDrive and be like, damn.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
But nah. So anyway, moving on from that, I was going to do a bit of news in the industry. So what's going on? So a bit of electrical news. Seems to be mostly everything is in regards these days to, like, renewables.
Let's go.
On what's going.
Let's go, everyone.
It's all about Tomo.
Solar, baby.
Tomo's language.
But I did have one here. So I don't know if this means much to you at all. But the New South Wales government has granted planning approval for the West Orana Renewable Energy Zone, the REZ, transmission project, which is paving the way for the construction of essential transmission infrastructure to connect large-scale solar, wind, and energy storage to electricity grid, which is the first in I know it's the first in New South Wales to be granted planning approval.
Yeah, so it's similar to what they've got down in SA, which is they're basically trying to stop all the blackouts in between, like, a power failure at, like, a transformer on the street. When Essential can get out there, they essentially need, like, an hour or 2 hours worth of battery that can run a town, or whatever's on that line, until someone can get out there to fix the problem.
So it is the first. It's the first in Australia, first in the country to obtain planning approval. So there's obviously other ones that are in the approval stage, but this is the first one to be approved. That's going to replace coal powered.
Power stations.
Power stations. So the roadmap is going to be to deliver at least 4.5 gigawatts of transmitted electricity.
So is it just a
that's
big battery
GW.
backup?
I'm
Is that what
guessing
it
that's
is?
gigawatts.
It's just a big battery backup.
Yep.
So the equivalent of powering 1.8 million homes, that'll be the equivalent of it. It's going to attract up $20 billion in private investment in solar and renewables, and about 5,000 jobs during peak construction. So
Let's go.
probably take 20
solar
years at this
is
range.
gonna skyrocket.
I was going to
Look at
say.
you. Yeah, I was just perked up, didn't you?
Yep.
Love that.
That'd be me. I'll be doing that by myself, everyone. I won't let anyone touch that one. That'll just be my baby.
Another one on the same sort of lines is the construction is beginning of the the microgrid in Victoria, the $28.6 million microgrid. The federal government have announced that the construction of a jointly funded $28.6 million microgrid has begun at Corryong, which, when completed, will be able to power up more than 900 homes and businesses for up to 5 days.
So they've done little experiments with that in Vico before. There's a couple of towns in Vico.
Yeah.
I don't remember where they are. I think one's near Hearsville, I think. Like that before with
Yeah.
pretty good success. So that'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a microgrid? I don't
Essentially-
know what a microgrid is.
So like you'd have a town.
Mm.
Everyone gets 3 kilowatts of solar, let's say. And then there's a centralised bank.
Oh,
And everyone's power goes
Feeds
back
back
to the
into it.
bank and feeds
And
everyone's.
then it
So like
distributes out.
one old lady might, she only might use 3 kilowatts a day. So sort of she doesn't use any power, all the excess goes and gets fed to a family of 6 who might use
wow.
triple. Yeah,
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
it is a good idea.
So is that just going to be mostly from like solar, like from solar farms, or is it more wind and
I think they'd have to have
yeah?
probably a combination of the 3. I don't see
They'd have to have grid, like they have to have some grid.
And
backup
where
as well,
are they?
at least like if it's not like a generator,
No,
so they'd
yeah,
have to have
true.
like probably a Jenny big enough to do the town,
Yeah.
solar to do the town, and then wind to top
Wind to do
everything
the
up.
town,
So
yeah.
it's not going to be. There's no way to really do that with just one
Yeah, well,
or the
one.
other.
It's all
You've got to
all-
have
together.
your, what am I trying to say? Backup plans, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Especially down in Vico, when the middle of
can't
winter
rely on
doesn't
the
always
sun.
get. Yeah, you're not always going to get much out of your solar down there.
No, that's true.
In the middle of winter. So
it is just the way it's all moving. So like, it's a thing. Like if you're not, if you're an electrical company that's not installing solar, like how, when are you gonna?
Well, it also means that you can offer that whole package as well. Like if you look at the houses,
But it is the way that it's going to be like it's going to become a requirement, like which it pretty much is already.
Well, it is, yeah,
like
it
on
is-
your
it
basics
is,
that you
yeah,
have
for
to have
most basics
solar
yeah.
installed,
Saying that
Yep.
you need to have
and
solar.
it's going to.
that's
You
like
know.
a lot of where
But
a
like
lot
you-
of our work comes from is basics.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
the new builds
the
the same.
some of the basics requirements are 1.1 kilowatts.
Oh,
or
we had
something
one the
like
other.
that.
We had one the other.
panel.
We had one the other day that was there's a 300 watt basics. I'm like, it's not. That's less than a panel. yeah,
Just throw one of those car panels on top.
exactly right. Just straight to a car battery.
But yeah, like that's going to become a requirement where it's like minimum, which is going to change the way houses are built as well. Like it's going to have
Yeah,
to. Like
absolutely. I think eventually, like you were saying, Sam, electricians the electricians that don't install it are just gonna have to bite the bullet because it's just
Well,
it's
you're just not going to be able to offer everything that everyone's going to want.
It's going to
Well,
be
it just
so.
means you're
it's
farming
like-
it. It just means that you're farming things out to other people as well, which just
Yeah.
makes it so much more difficult.
especially
Like if you're doing it with someone else.
yeah, and like then where does you draw the line? I've got to run my cables into there,
Yeah, exactly.
and then I've got to go back at some stage if I'm ready for fit off the inverter and everything, but they haven't started fitting off anything else. I'm like, that's 2 trips I've got to go back out
Yeah.
there to fit off
It
the
doesn't.
board.
It doesn't work.
It's hard though because
Yeah.
it works vice versa of like a company that only does solar, then like what they're expected to be doing all electrical as well to not miss out on those jobs. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just like even if you partnered up with a good
Yeah, that's
company
true.
that does
Yeah,
it, you
that's
know
true.
what I mean? So
True.
You
Yeah.
partner yourself with someone that you can recommend and subcontract the work to. So at least you're kind of still keeping yourself in there.
And there are
But-
definitely companies
But
that do
having
that.
knowledge around it, because as the industry grows, like it's going to be, you're going to need to know about it, and the more that batteries and
I think-
backups and stuff are going to
Yeah,
be
I
used,
think what's going to
gonna be
be
huge.
pretty interesting in the next few years is all the battery stuff because,
Mm.
like, obviously we've got me, so it's like easy to explain to the boys how it all goes together and what you need to do to actually turn off power. But if you go to like a job that's got a battery and you flick the main switch off, half those loads are still going to be live through the UPS. So it's not really a dead board unless you actually go to the inverter and switch off the batteries and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting, I think, for the people that don't have the knowledge about the batteries and stuff, about how quickly they're going to have to learn. Or
well, I think also
Gets
just
that.
coming, and also what we've been talking about a lot as well is wiring a house to suit your backup loads.
Yeah.
Which is something that we've brought in, but unless you have that discussion, like that's a prime example of like a house that we're doing at the moment. They're using a different solar company, but obviously you have to have the discussion with the solar guy who's providing, like, to be like, hey,
So the
like,
guys
no
that-
one's
Now they're not. Now they're not doing it. We're doing it.
no,
Well, we don't know yet.
not one of
Yeah,
we don't know
not
yet.
confirmed.
That's,
Yeah.
still being confirmed. But I think it just comes into the whole. I think that will be a big part of it, is actually wiring the house to suit future batteries installs. I think is going to be the big thing.
But we've been doing that even with on jobs that we haven't been doing solar.
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
We've been
Exactly. So
roughing
the house is like any house that we're doing new is roughed in, ready to accommodate a battery backup.
Mm.
So that we know it's future proofed and ready. And in a lot of instances, we're putting the provisioning in for the battery cables, even if we're
Yeah,
not
I guess
putting
if
a
you don't
battery
have
system on.
that knowledge, then you're not going to offer that as an option to people, are you? Because it's not
No,
usually
no,
written on a
exactly.
plan that, you're kind of reminding people about it. And even the same thing with car chargers and whatnot, going, oh, do you want to, probably should be putting a cable in for this. Like, you don't have a car now,
Oh,
but are
man.
you going to be living here for 10
Man,
years?
yeah,
And
car
it's
that's
car
probably
chargers are the other thing that are gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna work. It's just people are like the last 3 customers we've dealt with that are like, yeah, we want a car charge and we want the super fast one. The super fast one's 22 kilowatts.
Yeah.
You don't have the power for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's gonna be.
it's a big draw.
Oh man,
Well, that's the
there's
problem
gonna
that
be
they're facing in the
psycho
UK
stuff.
now, is that they just don't have the grid doesn't have like the physical capacity to be running things at the times that people need to run, because everyone's got they want super fast car chargers. They've got inverters that are pumping electricity back into the grid. But it's a whole schmozzle. of
Yeah,
things.
it's gonna. I think in the next 5 years, it's gonna be a massive drama with that.
I think I
Even
guarantee there will be.
happening now. Really.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out, I reckon.
Back to the V8s.
Yeah. Just heaps more diesel.
Just
heaps more diesel.
Go the other way.
So in other topics we want to talk about, so they're going towards safety. There was an incident this week with a young apprentice in Queensland that we got sent through from Safe Work Queensland.
Yep.
And pretty much the same thing that we've talked about before. It's crawling under the floor electric shop.
Yep.
Was working under the floor, running new circuits, and as copped a zap.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually say how bad, but for it to be reported, it's obviously a serious.
It's bad enough. If
serious
they're-
injury.
Yeah.
So in regards to that, there's going to be regulation. It's going to come. Like when we were speaking to, I was speaking to someone from Safe Work New South Wales today, and what I was talking about with them was that there's guidelines. So there's guidelines in regards to isolating. We've talked about it before. Isolating, if you're getting in a roof, you're getting under a floor, isolating any circuits that are going to be running that way.
Yep.
Main switch, lock it off. So that's not mandatory, but it is in WA, I think. But it's going to, they're trying to push to make it mandatory here.
Yep.
And like that's another example of a young guy getting under the floor. And anyone that's worked under the floor knows how fucking
Scary it
dodgy
is.
some
Yeah.
shit can be. And
Yeah,
like,
it
you
can
know,
be bad.
you're in a pretty bad position where anything can happen.
Oh, it's scary enough just being under there and,
Yeah.
try not to panic.
Yeah.
Dodging live electrical cables. So I think where we always come down to is like, if it does become regulation, it's going to be so much easier for you to tell someone that you have to turn the power off.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Yeah.
you go to someone and go, oh, I've got to turn your power off for 5 hours while we're underneath the floor. Be like, what? No, why?
Yeah.
No,
That's
I'm
the-
working from home. I'm doing this. Like, if there's a regulation that says, well, we're actually not allowed to get under there unless we do that.
Yeah.
Or we can't get in your roof unless we turn it off. So that comes down to your prior planning. Oh, when we're working at your house next week, we're going to have to turn your
everything's
power
gonna
off.
be off.
We can do something where, you know, we can, like, you can't be there. If you work from home, you're going to have to make it, because we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Even if you have that into your own company policies of that, and that's something we push, and it's so hard to get, like to make everyone do it. I'm not going to every site, but I think things like this, like we've got a toolbox tomorrow, I'm going to bring it up and just to remind people about it, because I don't want that to happen to anyone.
Oh my God.
And if you can avoid that by flicking a switch, locking it off, like, I don't know the seriousness of that, but last year was when two guys within the space of a couple of months died the same way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that, and I reckon, well, mostly I think that the main reason people just don't do it is because they've obviously had one customer that was like, "You're not turning my power off."
Yeah.
And it goes back to your planning thing. If you just say,
I'll get someone else. I'll get someone else that doesn't.
Yeah,
worry
that's
about
right.
it.
Someone else.
It's like, okay, so if you want to get someone else that doesn't care about the safety of their workers or whatever, like that's
good on you. Yeah.
You know,
I don't know how. Like,
same with the rail, the edge protection or whatever. Like, you know, like
I just can't. I love this job, but I don't love it enough to hurt myself.
You don't want to die.
Nah. I'm not going to fall on your sword, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
I'll do that on my own terms.
I don't reckon you said in the interview. I feel like you didn't say that.
I would die for this company. Nah,
I've got it.
Doesn't sound like me. I don't think.
It says on the bottom of your resume.
I thought you were going to say says on the bottom of your shoe. I'm like, you must have written that there then, because I certainly didn't.
So yeah. Anyway, pretty hectic, but that's the the reality of what's happening with those things. So just a reminder for people that is still like something that can happen. And if you're sending an apprentice on the floor, try and put as much safety behind that before you send them under.
Yeah,
fucking send them in the war, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
But it's like you say, you just make it's just it
you don't know who's been there before you or who's done what. So
no.
The other one we're talking about is if you're working in a commercial space, it's where it's hard. And I did bring that up with them today as well. And it's like,
yeah. What did they say to that? Because that's going to be really
interesting.
Yeah,
not like it's hard. Like shutdowns or how
well, because you'd have to, like, in a lot of instances, there's going to be instances where you will have to shut everything down.
Anyone that's worked in a pub roof knows that it's pretty much you can't shut the pub down and work up there, but like it's pretty.
Man, I remember we were working on Little Lonsdale Street in Melbourne, like right in Melbourne CBD, and we were running cables for aircons, and like we had to get up in this one roof, and all of these this whole block of shops the roof was connected. And it got up there, and I like turned my torch on, and it was all that cotton cable, but all the cotton had just fallen away, so it was just bare cables, like a laser thing in a Mission Impossible movie. And I was like, "Nah, Andy, sorry, boss, I'm not doing this, man.
I'm not going to die for you." But you said in your resume,
another one. He's like, "I'm sure you said in your resume you found this company.
You got to change your resume."
Yeah. But then so he was like. We ended up saying, we're going to have to shut these. We're going to have to turn off all the power to all these shops. And then one of the shops was, I think there was like 3 clothes shops. And they were like, whatever, we're not going to be here anyway. Just do it after hours.
Yeah.
The last shop might have, the last, it's probably like fish and chips or something. They're like, I will go under if you turn my power off.
If you turn my power for 5 minutes,
10 minutes, I will never financially recover from that. So
we never shut down.
But that was scary. Getting in that roof and just being like, whoa.
I've got another one, I guess, in regards to, it's on the same thing with safety. So, disciplinary action against electricians. So, in the month of May, the Queensland Electrical Licence Committee took disciplinary action against 8 electricians, licence holders. I'll go through a couple quickly because I think something that people don't realise is if you work for someone, you're doing dodgy shit. Like that, it comes back on you.
Yeah.
As the electrician, as a license holder, it's not. And I didn't realize that fully as well. Like, and I guess we're pretty on top of everyone. Like, we check over everything and make sure everything's done right.
Yeah.
But I guess there's probably a lot of places where that doesn't happen, and people are sent out on their own.
I'd say there's a few.
Own will, and it's like you got a license, you should know what you're doing.
Yep.
So these are a few examples of what people have done and the fines that they get. To me, they're not super high, but
the fines or
obviously, a lot of them seem to be in caravan parks, in like working on the pillars. Caravan parks. There's like 4 of them that were that. I don't know if it's the same guy. It might even be the same. It
probably was the same dude.
Just liven up socket outlets in a service pillar. So the pillars
power
are in
heads.
it. Yeah, the power heads. and all transposed neutral earth connections, and a member of the public received an electric shock when touching the actual pillar.
Yeah,
And they got a $500 fine.
Is that?
Doesn't sound like a
and
lot.
it
Of
doesn't sound
like a-
money.
that doesn't sound like a lot of
of
money.
to get someone belted.
And
in
his
like a
license
public
suspended
camera.
for 3 months. That's probably why he did it again. So
He waited 3 months and then went back.
Tried to fix it.
It does say a second electrical worker was also removing existing service pillars and installing new service pillars in the caravan park, and they had the same transposed neutral earth connection as well. A member of the public reported receiving an electric shock. So same thing again. They were.
That seems a bit weird that it's the same.
They only got a $400 fine. So
How do they work that out?
Don't know. And then their license was suspended for 3 months, $400 fine, and a $200 infringement notice from the ESO. So,
What state was this?
this is Queensland.
I think I know the caravan park.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom was working it.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I know all about that.
Yeah. They're trying to
There's
undo my work.
one with an electrical worker.
We're trying to fix your work.
Working on a pump, and they didn't install lockout devices or warning signs, and directed his electrical apprentice to cut a cable without conducting adequate testing to prove isolation. That's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
That's huge, yeah.
That's pretty rough that you made the apprentice get the cable as well.
So they got.
yeah.
He's,
Well, you better
yeah,
cut this one.
yeah.
He hasn't locked it out and then just got it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
See, 3 months suspension and
Cut away, bro.
$600 penalty. So to me, like could be someone's life that you put in your hands and you get 3 months suspension and $600 penalty.
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't seem like heaps.
that apprentice would have thought that wasn't very big with those pliers exploded in his face.
I was going to say, yeah.
And he had to buy him a new pair of pliers.
Mm.
There's a few other ones with commercial locations with temp wiring. This was a bigger one. So a contractor was issued a $4,000 penalty and an $800 infringement notice, and will remain on a register for 3 years. Because they left an energized cable was left unterminated adjacent to an aircon ducting. So that's that's pretty. It's a stock standard. I feel like it's a stock standard mistake that someone could make, more so than the other ones with the, like say you got a big project and you've ran a cable and it's been forgotten about or something. Like, I'm not condoning it. I'm saying like
No, I get what you're saying.
And
If you take it into the board as labelled wrong or something.
no one received a shock. Whereas in the other case, a member of the public received a shock and they got their license suspended and a $500 fine. Whereas this guy's got a $4,000 fine. So
it must have been like a hospital or something. Where was it?
Just a commercial building.
Man,
There's a few on there. So there's eight people.
I get what you're saying though. Like that could be something that if it's like a big building and you've started from scratch and then someone's accidentally run a cable and not
doing
realised
skids
someone's
outside.
doing a hell of a burnout.
That corner is
Oh man, there
shocking
would be
for
so
it.
many tyres on that corner.
Oh my god!
So many tyres, so many clutches.
If you sit in here all day and you count on one hand, you couldn't count on one hand how many people who burnouts are in that corner.
They
It's a
love
thing,
it.
eh?
They love it.
Just
Come straight out.
Straight
They
out
come
of
straight out of the car
wash.
the car wash.
Straight out of the car wash.
Give
Rip
it
a massive burnout on the corner there.
the VY a nice shine and rip one out of there. Sorry to derail that conversation then.
Anyway, yeah, you've just ruined that. So
Sorry.
It is funny though.
Yeah.
It is funny sitting in here and you just every 5 minutes you're like,
we want to change
oh,
the podcast to like a fucking donut talking about doughies or something.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we'll do a Rev Ed
do it.
podcast.
Do a Rev-
Cancel this.
Rev Ed
Delete all
podcast.
this. I'll just start again.
We'll start again.
Yeah.
Start again.
Start again.
But anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting to know like that you have to, like that comes back onto you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's something to know. If you're an electrical worker,
Don't think that just because you're working for someone, you can go and be like, oh, well, it doesn't. I'll just do this because
Yeah.
whatever.
that's coming on you.
Yep.
And it might be
You gotta be
$4 grand,
responsible
might
for
be
your
3
own
months, might be $500
stuff. Yep.
You don't know. So that was that. Moving away from safety, we've covered all that. If you a good thing is though, if you're signing up to WorkSafe to get the emails is always good. Safe
Yeah.
work. I think we're signed up to the Queensland and New South Wales one, so it's good to get notifications on if something's happened. So you can sign up. I think you can just sign up via the website.
Yep.
Something you got to get on. First one being Groundplan.
Yeah, Groundplan's good.
Which is like an estimation count up
Yeah.
software.
I haven't
For
got
doing
really,
plans as well.
haven't really used Groundplan yet.
You haven't
It's
really
good.
used it,
It's
so-
super helpful because it like when we're doing those walkthroughs, redrawing plans, and then like you were talking about, we've now linked it.
So
to
we'll drop
Simpro.
some footage of some ground plan footage over now. Sham will.
Groundplan. Count, measure and estimate your plans online. Built for any business in the trade industry that uses floor plans to take off and estimate. Ideal for electrical, plumbing, painting, landscaping and more. Upload your plans to Groundplan. Then, while you're counting and measuring, Groundplan is generating a list of line items with accurate figures ready for review. Then export to your favourite accounting or job management software.
It makes it heaps easier. It makes your life easier.
Anyone but 40.
Yeah. Don't let it.
So, well, the main thing we use it for is, so say someone might contact us and say, oh, we don't have any electrical layouts. So we've got everything on there. We can get their plans. We can put an electrical layout through it. It's got all the symbols on there. Drop it all on there. Send it off. Happy with this? Yeah, we'll quote off that. Another one is that what we've been doing. So I've got a set of electrical plans that have already been designed. Yeah. But then I've gone and done a walkthrough with the client. I did one on Monday. I've walked through last week. I've walked through with the client. They've pretty much changed heaps of stuff on there. So instead of them paying an architect to change it, which is probably going to cost them a few grand, I've just gone, scribbled all through it, and then I've come back to the office, I've changed it all, and then I can re-quote or anything.
I feel like that's the thing that is most useful, is being able to then effectively communicate changes that a client has because I've if that stuff gets lost, that's when you piss clients off.
But you're not working off a
you're working off
plan.
No, you're working off a decent set of plans that you can then pass on to the guys, but then also you can make changes on it in real time. So if the client decides that they do want to change something else, you can quickly make those changes and get those back out. Share that back with them to get sign off.
Yeah,
so get approvals. Absolutely.
Get approval. So you get it changed. You might have missed something, and then you send it off and go, can you sign off on these? And they go, oh, actually, you missed that extra pendant we were putting over there. And go, oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
add it in. Then there's no way of missing it.
No, that's right.
So that was, I think that's a huge tool that we use. It's if you're not using that, that's got to be something.
Oh man, if you were trying to do that by hand and muck around with it and redraw plans, it would take you forever.
But I know.
Imagine
having to redraw plans, sit down and redraw plans.
The amount of time, plans change in a year as well. You'd be spending all day drawing.
I think one job we're on revision K at the moment.
K.
Yeah, I mean.
What happens when you run out of letters in the alphabet? KA.
Numbers.
K1.
Man. I don't want to know.
So, no, it's been super good. So, and I just did all the as-builts with it as well for the community hub. So, went through and remarked all the undergrounds with locations of the new pillars we've put in, or I pretty much deleted where switchboards were on the original plan and moved them to new locations, and you can highlight with the bubbles and put around it that has changed. You can write on it, put an arrow. So pretty much change all that, send it back to the engineer to get redesigned for site. And then also I know Eastie's been working on it. All the undergrounds we've been doing for this new project we've started is just mapping all the undergrounds out on there.
Yeah.
Set it to scale.
That's been huge.
Yeah, and then
map it out.
it.
So that's the other way it works great as well for quoting, is mapping to scale for your cable runs, cable tray, anything like that. You set it to scale and you measure all that
stuff.
Yeah. So it's super helpful. Then we've integrated it to Simpro. I don't know if it integrates to anything else. Not sure about that, but it integrates to Simpro, and you can pull up a quote within it, and then when you're counting and it gives you a count up, it'll spit that automatically into a quote. Oh, yeah. And if you put all the information in there, you can actually have the pricing already in Groundplan. So you're not doing it twice. It'll spit it automatically into a quote in Simpro and it's ready to go.
Yeah, that's the go.
It's good.
So we're still sort of working through with that.
Yeah, we've got to finalise some things in that. But once we start getting it down to the... But even just having the quantities come across just makes it so much easier. So you're not there sitting having to punch quantities in. It automatically just brings the quantities across from what you've counted up on. It makes it so much easier. It means that you're not double handling stuff. And it's a good tool. I use it all the time. I reckon I use it every day.
I think that, and then we're slowly... I feel like Simpro is we're still always learning stuff with that.
Yeah. I learned something. I learned how to do something tricky on Simpro every day.
I was speaking to Moon today, and he's like, "Oh, you can integrate your calendar through Outlook into it." I didn't know that. So if you and it'll map. It'll
that's
map
huge.
I haven't figured that out yet, but he told me.
Let's work out how to do that.
If someone sends you an invite on your email, it'll automatically schedule you out for it on Simpro.
That's what we need.
which is good.
Really?
That.
Yeah.
Because Easty's already doing that with the emails.
Yeah.
He's already
Yeah.
sent you an email and
He
booked
sends
you
you an
out.
email, books you in.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, if you can do that, and get that to come across in Simpro, that would be mint.
That would be good as.
I'll figure that out.
Let's figure that out.
But then, yeah, I guess with Simpro, we've got the CCWs integrated through there as well now through eForms.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's
well.
really helpful.
And
I do so many CCWs. I love it.
when we were talking today,
I love that. I don't love CCWs. I like that it goes in automatically.
automatic. So when I was talking to the WorkSafe guys today, they're saying that they're going to start trialing a digital version of CCW. Is going to be a program that they're bringing out.
Oh yeah, I reckon I've got a couple of notes for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just like
we're going to trial it. So
bigger writing spaces.
yeah, wow, that's it.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to just do it on your phone, tablet, and flick it off that way, and not have to PDF it. It won't be a PDF. It'll be a proper, a proper form. So that's what I think they're working on at the moment. They're going to start trialing it with a few companies. So.
Yeah. Pretty crazy that they don't do that already. A little bit.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
that.
know.
That it's
There's
not all.
obviously a
That it's
reason.
not all just
Yeah.
digitized.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I feel like that
one
they're
day soon
behind
it
in
will
that
be.
scope.
But yeah, I think that's another tool which it's not really a tool, I guess, but it's I guess you could class as a software that like the Excel spreadsheets. It sounds so.
We love a spreadsheet here, don't we?
Spreadsheet.
I've never been into spreadsheets, and I've always been like, it's just like old school. It's shit. It's a shit way of doing it. We have created like the ultimate estimation. It's like fucking its own estimation software. I don't know. Like it's taken.
You can bottle it to
Well,
sell it. I reckon almost.
Mate, it's taken easy a year of getting it all perfect, but it's.
I reckon we
fucking good.
started that spreadsheet started around maybe November last year. I reckon maybe just before.
And it's so simple, but
October.
it's been so good for us getting our costings like bang on exactly what everything is costing us, and we've got it within the spreadsheet when we quote all materials, buy price, markup, sell price, profit, quantity, spits it all out, and we've got all the formulas now set up. So it literally like we just change the quantities when we're doing a takeoff. We've got all different lights built into there and different types, and it's got everything now. Like, and we still add to it every time, but it's like it's.
Yeah, you change the items that you're going to be pricing for.
And we're not sharing it with anyone, so don't.
No, don't even ask because you're not having it.
There's too much blood, sweat, and tears.
Top secret.
If we
top
sold
secret.
that for the amount it's costed us,
Yeah, I was going to say.
no one would be able to
no one
afford
would
it.
be able to afford it.
The amount of hours that's gone into it.
Yeah, seriously.
But it's so good.
Yeah, it
and
makes a
like
big
doing
difference.
these big commercial ones, because we're doing everything in house. Like, there's a couple now that I'm gonna, because we're pretty busy, I'm gonna send off to get estimated some bigger ones. But the ones we're doing in house, which are still like $1 million
decent size.
projects.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. It's so
Makes a big
good,
difference.
and you've got all your profit and everything spit
Well,
out.
the thing is, as well, is you can show, like, if it really got down to it and someone wanted to really question your pricing hard and wanted to see where it's at, you can show them anything and everything. You can show them exactly where you've gotten the exact price for that individual line item.
Every
from.
dollar is
Well, that's the thing.
accounted for.
Like, what is a quote? A quote is you guessing.
Yeah, no,
it's
it
you
is
guessing
100%.
something.
What is a quote?
It's you guessing.
It's a guess.
How long something's going to take you, and then the material.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's just a market material. So the main differentiating factor is the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is the
absolutely.
time allowed?
Yep.
So you got to guess how long it takes,
Yeah.
and you're either fucking right or you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
But
And you're wrong
way
just
we-
as much as you're right.
the way we break that down and then into our jobs is to have separate jobs.
Yeah.
So say it's like a project, and we have separate stages. So then we can tally the running job against the quote and know where we sit. So for next time, if we've got to be more competitive, we know how long it's actually taken us. And it's a lot of messing around. Like, a lot of people won't be able to do it. If you don't have the manpower in the office, you're not going to probably be able to do it.
No, but also
I know there
saves
is-
you time there in the long
But
run.
there's obviously heaps of estimation software out there. I think we've tried a couple, but I think we've just all kind of, because we've built this, it's kind of works.
Well, it's just perfectly designed for how
Yeah, that's right.
we
Geared
work.
it
I
to
think
what we
like
needed to
it
do.
would be really good to take that and create something with it, so you could have like your pricing automatically in there, like, you know what I mean, like drag through, like through Simpro. How it does that.
Yeah.
Like that's the next level of
Start
doing
making
it.
some calls to Silicon Valley. Let's see if we can get some apps made up. New age apps.
Done.
Shouldn't have said that.
You shouldn't have
I
said
know. What have I started?
New hobby incoming. Let's go.
Tomo's Monster.
Yeah,
But no, I think that's everything I wanted to cover. It was kind of like a welcome
Welcome
back.
back.
Welcome back.
Why we've been away. Why we've been.
How many episodes were there in season 1?
Oh, I think it was 20.
What?
Was there that many?
I think so.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
21 now.
Hell yeah.
I think it was 20. I don't know. I haven't looked for a while. But yeah, I want to keep it going again, and we kind of just
Well, people keep hitting me up and asking me about it.
yeah. So it'll be fortnightly.
Oh, shout out to Craig Austin as well. I know will be listening.
Yeah, always.
Because he's always giving me shit about it. So.
Perfect.
But he continues to mention it every time I see him. So
Yep.
Oh yeah, keep him happy. That's the only reason we
keep
do
him
it.
happy.
So fortnightly. We're actually doing another one Friday with the guys from X Tour, which we did when I did the podcast with the guys in Melbourne. When we did that Zoom call, we sort of showed a bit of footage of it.
Yep.
And then the guys they put it together on like a little clip with a video explanation of it and put it on Instagram. And
It blew up. A few of
blew
my
up.
mates in Melbourne saw it and
Yeah.
said, "Is this you guys?"
Yeah, got like
Oh yeah, that's funny.
hundreds of thousands of views and heaps, thousands of shares. So I chatted to those guys. I think they got one of them on the Goldie, and then one of them is coming up from Melbourne. So they're going to come in on Friday and have a chat, and then we'll release that in the next. That'll be 2 weeks away, and
Nice.
then I'm going to figure some other ones out. And I always say, like, if you're keen to come on a Zoom, or you got any ideas, flick them through, because it's always shit coming out of my head. So I'd rather have, if someone wants to help, I'm more than happy.
Yep. We're also doing a battery at 40's house, a trial, one of the first ones in Australia. Are we talking about that?
Oh yeah, I'll let you know if I'm homeless when it fucking blows up.
Yeah, well, maybe I shouldn't have said it, then we'll see if the other turns down first.
It's
But,
the first
maybe see if it actually
first
works.
one in Australia.
I don't know if it's the first one in Australia, but there's like 11 installers that they've chosen.
Handpicked.
Handpicked 11 installers all over the country to install these batteries for the first time. So if it goes well, I'll tell everyone what they are. Yeah.
If you see a GoFundMe for my house, then
Yeah.
you know it went real well.
You see a fun
The
run,
trial house,
fun
you
run
mean?
for
Yeah.
Cumberland fun run for 40's place.
It's a trial house. It's where you try everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah. See if it works or not.
Yeah, it's heaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
My house is trashed. It's good. Could be the next big thing.
Could have some more holes in your ceiling. Could have a couple more access hatches in your
Yeah.
hallway.
Yeah.
Nothing
Be
but
nice.
manholes in that joint soon.
It's more manholes than ceiling.
I'm running it. There's not enough chip rock. It gets cold in winter.
Yeah, I
was
bet it
gonna
does. Swish to his house.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much.
And see you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.